Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. And we're going to take a look at KuCoin, of course, and peek over at Bitcoin, just so you understand kind of what happened yesterday, in case you weren't already aware or living under a rock or didn't see your portfolios decrease by 20 to 30%. Bitcoin sold off about 9% total from top to bottom in about 28 hours. So that's pretty standard, though. I don't want anyone to be super concerned because you look at these candles, and it's really regular and normal for Bitcoin to do that type of sell-off, right? So, the sky isn't falling. This is very standard. It's very normal too for the end of the year for taxes. You'll see the prices essentially drop based on the fact that they're taking their profits. And this is one of the last years, I believe, that crypto has an opportunity to be able to you pay less in taxes essentially. So a lot of people are taking their profits. So that's probably the case here. Also, liquidation for those who have over leveraged positions. It's pretty standard stuff. So key takeaway here is that we're hovering right around the 200-day set moving average, and that's a good thing. The price didn't drop. I mean, even though it dropped below 47,000, it's held fairly well, and that was kind of a brief moment. So I think Bitcoin's in good shape. Now, just before we jump into KuCoin, I want you to know, if you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, I just love teaching people how to trade. I have a trading community designed for that specific purpose, so check that out. We will have new slots available first of the month, again, based on demand. And obviously, I'm rolling out with a trading academy as well. That'll be part of my premium membership. So make sure you check that out. It's going to be really awesome, kind of start to finish, head to toe, how to be a better trader. All right, so take a look here at KuCoin. What we're going to do, obviously, is just take a look at the one-day chart and work our way down. We can see we had a high, of course, previously right around 95 cents, and now it's tapering off. Obviously, came down and up and down again, right? So this is very similar price action to Bitcoin. If you look at Bitcoin's price movement, you see a very similar scenario. So just want to bring that to your attention in case you are unfamiliar with the fact that there's a very significant correlation between the two. I know it's kind of the obvious, but some people aren't aware of that. So just want to kind of specify that. And the reason why that's important is because, with Bitcoin likely being closer to the bottom essentially, or the bottom I feel is still in, then we can expect KuCoin to inevitably increase. But obviously we're going to see a sell-off here too, based on the recent sell-off from Bitcoin. So it's just an interesting thing, and it's just something to acknowledge. It's kind of like the elephant in the room. But the one thing to note is that we saw about almost a 15% correction from KuCoin when Bitcoin corrected 9%. So that basically means we're almost 1.5x, if you will, for the price action movement. In other words, CRO will likely increase 1.5x or decrease 1.5x based on a 1x from Bitcoin. So that's just kind of something to acknowledge. It's not over exaggerated. A lot of other coins are 2 to 3x, if that makes sense. So it's just good to note that, KuCoin, even though it's synonymous, it's not going to be a significant detriment if Bitcoin were to drop a little bit further. Okay. This actually could even be expected at this point, just based on the way that things have gone, and we aren't to the first of the year yet. But I do expect January to be a very strong year here for us, or month within the year of 2022. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some of the key indicators. We got the moving average 50 above the price action. It's not great, but we are holding at 50 on the RSI. That's a very good sign, kind of reflectant of 55 cents on the price action, or more like 56 cents, where we have that support level there. So that's a good sign there. You can also see on the 4-hour chart that we have the moving averages traveling above the price action right now. Traditionally not a great sign, but I'm not super concerned with this based on the fact that, again, we're more so synonymous with Bitcoin, and we have that 200-day simple moving average working for us on the one-day chart for Bitcoin. So ultimately, not terrible shape here, okay, right? It's more fair to Midland, if you will. It's kind of just neutral. It is what it is. There's not, it's not great, it's not bad, if that makes sense, right? Normally, I would be concerned with the price action being below, but that's not a big deal. RSI is also closer to 30, or at least it was at one point, trending more so around 40. So that tells us it's considered to be oversold and effectively a good value. Now, why don't we take a quick look at just say the value. So from the most recent low, 0.4 KuCoin, we've seen the most amount of volume above the price action right now. So there's no secret that that could potentially be a resistance level for KuCoin. So it just kind of shows that 64 cents might be a difficult place in which the price will have trouble passing when we get back up there. But once we build a stronger foundation, say we get a lot more volume in this area here between 56 and 58 cents, then we'll be in much better shape. I'm willing to guess too, if we zoom out, of course, the price action will be lower. So, I mean, obviously there's a strong foundation if you look at the overall last month's worth of trading, if not a little bit longer there. But just to note, the more recent relevant price action is higher than where the price is at right now. Could work as a resistance, but we do have a strong foundation here. in the big picture right around 55 cents. So we should not expect the price to come any lower than that. In fact, you can see right here where the price actually tried to come lower than this support level here at about 56, and it didn't come past that, right? That's where the volume really helps us understand kind of where we're at with things. So on the micro, we might have a potential tentative resistance, but for the most part, the last month worth of trading, we have a strong foundation at 55 cents. So that's why we see the price action holding right there. So I guess to summarize, 55/56 cents should be the bottom for KuCoin. We shouldn't expect it to go much lower based on that sentiment alone. Now look at the 1 hour. We'll see if the Ichimoku cloud is telling us anything. It's soon to intersect with the price action. So in 1 more hour, we should see the price action intersect with the lagging span. And what that basically just means is if you have a short position, you want to consider closing it. And that's a good sign here. It doesn't necessarily mean you want to buy the bottom, buy the dip. Obviously, dollar cost average if possible, because 56 cents is a pretty good value for KuCoin. But you also need to understand that, the bottom isn't officially in yet, even though I feel like it would be based on the volume. We've already addressed that. We don't necessarily just want to take a position based on the fact that the cloud is telling us there's signs of a reversal. Okay, that is kind of where we're at, because traditionally speaking, you want to try to buy when you're above the cloud, not below the cloud. Okay, so I just want to throw that out there so you know. But that doesn't imply that you cannot dollar cost average. It just means you don't want to put all of your eggs into this one basket and do like a day trade, for example, because it might end up backfiring, so to speak, right? So moving on, let's go ahead and do one last look here at Sequential. Let's go ahead and see. We got a bunch of resets here. We got up to a 5, 1, 5. Yeah, so there's really nothing really here to disseminate. See, one last thing on the 4 hour. This is a very good sign here too. You can see that we had basically 9 hours of bearish continuation, and we finally just got a reset. So hypothetically, and I'm sorry, not 9 hours, 9 candlesticks worth of bearish continuation, right? So what, 4 times 9, that was 36 hours worth of just nonstop downward action. And that is reflecting of Bitcoin too. Bitcoin had a very similar scenario set up here. So the reversal is likely. We shouldn't expect the price to go much lower because it's at that exhaustive state where the bears have sold as much as they possibly can, and there's not really a likelihood of the price going much lower based on that itself. Okay, so just again, big picture, think about that. Those are some important things to understand and acknowledge. But all in all, KuCoin's in very good shape. I think the macro is still very, very good. We see this consistency right here between 49 and we'll just say about 66 cents. But the most amount of volume is once more right here in the range about 55 cents. That's right where the price is at too. So we should not expect the price to go much lower. Volume is a very strong support, and it's definitely going to be reflected here soon. So we can see it's looking good. Honestly, I feel like this is probably the likely bottom here. Again, pending Bitcoin doesn't just do something obnoxious and hit 40,000 tomorrow, then we're going to be probably pretty good shape. Okay, so just keep that in mind. I think the likelihood of Bitcoin selling off much further is fairly low, considering we're at that exhaustive state as well on the 4 hour for TD Sequential. So all good stuff here in that sense. I speculate we're going to see the price start to recover here in the very near future. So I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks again for your time. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a good one. Take care.